vaccine production ramps up, we soon may have an overwhelming supply. And there may be enough doses to protect all adults in America in just a few months. But that doesn't necessarily mean every adult wants a shot. Face the Nation host Margaret Brennan joins us live from Washington tonight. Always good to see you, Margaret. Thanks for joining us. And we know prior to the pandemic, there was a real anti-vaxxer movement, and now vaccine hesitancy is a big concern.
Yes, you're right. And it really kind of crosses partisan lines. It crosses racial lines because, as we're seeing in polling, there is hesitancy not just among communities of color, but also among supporters of the former president, those who identify as conservative, particularly in rural areas. Overcoming that hesitancy is a key part of how to reach herd immunity. So that is why the administration is focusing on it. We will have on Sunday's program Dr. Marcella Nunes-Smith. She is head of the Equity Task Force and is charged with how to address this, along with some of the deep-seated issues in terms of health inequity in this country that have contributed to being vulnerable to the vaccine and to the virus, I should say, in the first place. So this is going to be a major hurdle to overcome. Practically speaking, some of the things they're doing is just trying to make it hard to say no, make it easy. So they're putting in more vaccinators, veterinarians, dentists, your local doctor, some of those added to the approved list of who can distribute and inoculate. Yeah,
the easier it will be to get, the more people will get on board, right? And during the pandemic, we know nearly 3 million women left the workplace, which is significant. And of course, that includes a lot of mothers because lack of child care was a big problem. And I know this is something you're talking about on your podcast, Facing Forward.
We did, and thank you for raising it. It's a huge issue because if we want to get the U.S. economy back to where we were before the pandemic, you have to figure out how to rebuild those lost jobs. We're 10 million jobs short of where we were. 4 million of them, a large percentage, as you mentioned, are women who have stopped looking, in part because they're taking on so much at home, educating their kids at the kitchen table, trying to work at the same time, some of them, thus their productivity has gone down. It's a massive social burden, and it's something that in this latest $2 trillion package that President Biden just signed off on, there are a lot of packages in here, tax credits for families with children, other kinds of sort of social welfare programs that the U.S. is experimenting with. We'll see if they last beyond this one bill. But it's something we dug into with Sally Krawcheck. She was one of the most powerful women on Wall Street, and she talks to us about how to address these long-standing issues, but really which have been made so stark during this pandemic.
And you talked to her about how important it is the way we talk with women about money. Fascinating. Thanks, Margaret. And you can watch Margaret on Face the Nation Sunday morning at 10:30 on WBZ. Well,